कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 राम
Rama Hare
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे
Hare
हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So we have been discussing this series, preparing for our Gita Jayanti, which is on December 11th, and we have been discussing the crux of the entire Bhagavad Gita in 3 sessions. Those who are joining us new, just giving some quick recap. So we'll be discussing all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which is divided into 3 sections. First 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga, which we discussed in the last week's session. And the middle 6 chapter talks about, and this is also the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, which talks about the Bhakti Yoga. And the last 6 chapters talks about the Jnana Yoga. So basically, Bhagavad Gita teaches us that yoga of living, which is more karma yoga, how to live in this world. And also, you see this in material world, in this modern age. Hardly people know that how to really live most efficiently and more productively and more purposefully. Everybody is living, life is going on, but the real purpose of life, hardly very few people, those who have understood that how to live. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us the yoga for living. And very less, even less people knows how to let go the things. People get stuck, right? So that is the last 6 chapters, the yoga of let go. It's okay, some things happens, let it go. And very few and very rare people they know yoga of love. And while living, how to live lovingly with each other. So in this modern age, it's very difficult. People can argue for every small, insignificant, silly thing. People argue, they fight, they get separated. So this is what is the modern age is all about. So today we'll be touching on the middle section, which is like, in a sandwich. This can be understood through this example of a sandwich that top there is a bread and at the bottom also there is a bread, right? But the real stuff is in the middle, the stuffing. Or like, I think we all might have tasted the cream biscuit in our childhood. There is a biscuit like the big part and the top, but the cream is there in the middle. And as a child, as soon as you get the biscuit, first open it apart and then you eat the cream first. So this section, what we are going to discuss today, is the cream of Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhakti Yoga, yoga of love. Right. So just to give you some connection, what we discussed in the Karma Yoga and how to live, and then finally, Krishna concludes at the 6th chapter, the last verse. He says, "Yogi nam api sarvesham mat gatena antaratmana bhakta mam bhajate yo mam same yukta tamamata shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamamata." So that is the last verse of the 6th chapter, 6.47, where Krishna is saying, among all kinds of yogis, we are talking about Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Bhakti Yogi. Krishna has concluded 6th chapter saying that among all varieties of yogis, the topmost yogi, Sarvesham, topmost yogi is the one who Shraddhavan Bhajate Yomam, one with faith and devotion always remembers me. Madgatena Antaratmana, in the heart he always remembers me. That is the topmost yogi. So basically, Krishna has given the trigger there that he is referring to the Bhakti yogi. A devotee is the one who always remembers Krishna amidst of lot of things doing in this world. So that is the art of Karma Yoga, that while doing and performing all your duties and responsibility in this material world, you never forget Krishna. That is an art. So Krishna has given the trigger there. And from there we get into a discussion of Bhakti Yoga. But who are these people? Madgatena antaratmana, Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, those who always remembers. So Krishna started explaining the Bhakti Yoga section from chapter number 7 to 12. And today we'll just spend some few minutes to very, briefly take some important key points from each chapter. We cannot really get into the detail. So Krishna starts the 7th chapter by this verse, and it's a very, very important verse. In fact, Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse during his, discourses and all that many, many times. In fact, this is the verse, the 7.1, the first verse of the 7th chapter, which Prabhupada has given the discourses the most on this verse. One of those verses. Many, many discourses Prabhupada has given on this verse. 7.1. So what is this verse? It says, Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Samshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyashyasi Tashranu. So what Krishna is saying here, My Asaktamana Partha, O Parth, O Arjuna, what you should do is Asaktamana. Your mind should be attached to me. My Asakta. Mind should attach to Krishna. That is when you start getting into this yoga of love. When you are in love with someone, and we are not talking about some kind of a mundane love here, pure spiritual love. Here in this material world, all the loves, they're all very superficial. The love is all about you scratch my back, I scratch your back. This is the unfortunate really of
reading शुरू करो अपनी जाओ जाओ
Hare Krishna devotees, please make sure that you are on mute. Sorry. Yeah. So we're talking about the true love. True love is the selfless service, how it begins. So the nature of love is that you never forgets the object of love. And that is what Krishna is bringing here. My asakt mana partha, that your mind should be attached to me. Now, many times we hear all these kind of concepts, but how to really come to that level of where our mind is completely attached to Krishna? We think and we hear all these kind of concepts, but as soon as you just walks out of the class and then your mind is already into so many other things, household things, job, family, kids, and 100 other things, right? So how to really come to that level? So Krishna has given a very revealing, concept here. So what is saying? Yata gyashyasi tashrunu. This is the key. Shrunu means to hear. So everything, the bhakti yoga, the love, that if you are in the process to develop the love for Krishna, it begins with hearing. Unless you hear about someone, there is no point of developing the love in true sense. There might be some physical infatuations, like what we see in this Bollywood, Hollywood movies. The hero, heroine, first time they saw each other, they fell in love. That love at first sight and divorce at first sight. That is what is the modern relations, but not that kind of love. The true love begins with hearing. When you hear about the person, and gradually, because that person is so wonderful, so many wonderful characteristics and the qualities, gradually by hearing, you start developing some attraction, some affection that turn into love. So that is what Krishna is saying. It begins with hearing. So hearing is a very, very important principle. That is why if you have any questions like, when we come to temple, even we chant also Hare Krishna mantra, still our mind is not there. And if we are doing something, and of deities we are standing, having darshan, still mind is wandering somewhere. It means we have not developed any affection and attraction. Why? Because we are not sufficiently heard about that person. So Krishna is God, yes. But what is our understanding of Krishna as being the God? How much we know that how Krishna is God? So we have to hear from the bona fide scriptures, from the bona fide teachers. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, when you keep reading, keep hearing, then gradually you start develop the love. So that is what Krishna is saying. My asakt mana bharta yogam yunjan mad ashraya. You should be in yoga. Yoga means in connection with me. And also mad ashraya. Mad ashraya means you should be under my shelter. That is what is a symptom or the sign of a bhakti yogi or a devotee. Everything start falling in place just by tashrunu, hearing. So Krishna is bringing this point in the 7th chapter, that hearing has to happen. The right hearing has to happen. From the right source, it should happen. Right? There is this, incident in the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Shukdev Goswami explained the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Rukmini ji, she never saw Krishna in her life, right? But she fell in love with Krishna. and she wrote a love letter to Krishna, first ever love letter written in the history. Right, Rukmani is writing a love letter, sending through a Brahmana that he should, deliver it to Krishna, where she is expressing the heart that I have already accepted you as my life and soul. Please come and take me. Basically, that the proposal was just please come and kidnap me because my family is planning to get me married to somebody else, like that. So the point is how Rukmani fell in love. She never saw Krishna. So that verse explains, Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara sanvatam te nirvishya karna vivray hartong tapam rupam darsham darsamatam akilartha labam tai achyuta vishata chittam apatrapam me. So how she fell in love with Krishna? Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara sanvatam te. Just by hearing about the Lord who is Bhuvana Sundar. He is the most beautiful personality in the entire creation. How she was hearing? Because a lot of Brahmana used to come in there. She was the daughter of the king. And the kings, they will invite in their court, they'll invite all these scholarly Brahmana. They'll talk, they'll discuss. So they'll talk about, oh, Krishna is like this, Krishna is so beautiful, Krishna is so powerful. So just by hearing about Krishna, she fell in love. And then she wrote the letter that please accept me, like that. So the point what we are trying to discuss here is that this hearing is a very, very powerful process. So we are talking here, this Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of love, how this love begins to manifest and develop just by hearing. And that is the process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Bhadasevanam. So now the Bhakti also it begins with the Shravanam. Hearing has to happen. Right. And then Bhagavatam talks a lot about this. And the process of hearing we have done.
అంటే మీరు హరే కృష్ణ మంత్రంలో స్పష్టంగా పలక
Okay. So Hare Krishna devotee, those who are joining online, just please make sure that you are on mute so the others are not disturbed. So Bhagavatam also says that Shanvatam Shraddhaya Nityam Granatacha Suchestitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishde Hari. And many verses can be quoted. So this verse explains Shanvatam Shraddhaya Nityam. With Shraddha, with faith, with devotion, Nityam, every day we start hearing about Krishna. Hearing means you can read Bhagavad Gita, you can read Bhagavatam, or attend some of these discourses like that. Some hearing should happen from the right source. So with Shraddha and Nityam it happens, then what happens? Kalena Nati Dirgena, without any delay. It will not take much time. Bhagavan Vishate Hari, that Krishna, the Bhagavan Supreme Lord, Vishate, he'll enter into your heart. Bhagavan Vishate Hirdi. He'll come into your heart just by hearing. You'll always be thinking about the Lord while you are functioning in this world. So this is the power of this hearing. So Krishna begins the 7th chapter by hearing. And then also Krishna explained that hearing is also such a powerful tool that it clears all kinds of misconceptions. So Krishna talks about some misconceptions, some misunderstanding, some different kind of worships, that different people are into, that people, worship the different devatas, different demigods. And there's nothing wrong in that at one level. But Krishna says that some people think that worshipping a devata or any demigod is equal to worshipping Krishna. That is a misconception. So how to clear all those misconceptions? By hearing. When we hear from Krishna himself, directly from Bhagavad Gita, right? Otherwise, it is very difficult to remove all these misconceptions. It is like so deep rooted in our system. When, for whatever number of years we have lived our life in certain way, certain ideas, certain concepts of worship and doing certain things. When you start coming into Krishna consciousness, you start hearing, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our mind or emotionally, we don't accept sometimes. We say, yeah, that's okay, but worshipping this demigod, that devata, going to this temple, doing this brata also, everything is okay. It's all equal. It is not equal. Right. So this misconception, how to clear? We have to hear. Right. So these misconceptions are very, very deep rooted. One time, this one person who was driving, the taxi, and the passenger who was sitting, and this was a relatively very new taxi driver in the city. He started driving, very recently. And this person, the passenger, was quite familiar with the routes in the city. So when he told that, take me there, and he was actually trying to guide him that go this way, that way, and like that. So while doing that, suddenly when this driver was driving and then this passenger was sitting, and just to guide him, he tapped on his back just little, just to tell him that go left or right, something like that. And as soon as he tapped on his back, this person got freaked out. He was like, he crashed into the other lane and almost like about to hit, make accident. So he says, hey, what happened? Just cool down, relax, what happened? I just tapped you very gently like that. And then he pulled over the car and then he just kind of, take the deep breath and then he was relaxing this driver. This passenger asked him, what a big deal. I just tapped you like this only a little bit. Why are you freaking out so much? He says, actually, I am, a new taxi driver. Very recently, I started driving the taxi. Before that, for last 20 years, I've been driving this funeral van, wherein he used to take the dead bodies. Right. So he got freaked out. Like it never happened in 20 years that somebody tapped on the back. So he freaked out. So point is the conditioning is like that. Something new comes, just little simple thing, but you can't handle this. So how to handle all those things is we have to hear from the right sources, like the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the power of hearing. And then, many times people say that I want to see God. I want to see God. How do you see God? So the understanding is you cannot see God with your eyes. If you want to see God with your ears. Right. Otherwise, if you come in front of deities, but if you are not heard enough, you don't know, then you cannot see that it is God. Many times, like, some non-Indians, they come to the temple because they are not familiar with this going to temple and understanding the deities, God and all of that. They can't see the God is standing there. Right. So how do you see God? You see God only with ears, not with eyes. One time, Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj, he was giving a discourse, like a Bhagavatam class. So one person in that class, he was hearing, and suddenly he heard in the temple hall upstairs, there was a ringing of bell and then blowing of conch shell, indicating that darshan is about to open. So this person got up from this class, from hearing, and he went upstairs to have darshan. And Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj, he noticed it, and he was very, very, strict. So when this person came back, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj asked him, how was the eye massage? And this person was taken aback, like how you can say like it is eye massage. So the point is, if you don't hear sufficiently about the Lord from the scriptures, how you can see God? You cannot see God, right? So people say that, in this world, they say first you see and then you believe, right? First you see and then only you believe. But the real philosophy is that first you hear and then only you'll be able to see. Without hearing, we cannot see that. So this is what is the Bhagavad Gita is offering. Krishna is offering in this through all these lessons. That Bhagavad Gita is not training us or teaching us that, or educating us that you should learn to believe in God. No, we are not asking that you should believe in God. Bhagavad Gita is teaching, it is actually training us that you can see God, not just believe God. Believe means you don't know whether it is there or not. You just believe something. But Bhagavad Gita is teaching us not just have some belief system. You can actually experience God. So that is what is the training that Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita. That you can develop those eyes, where those eyes you can see God. So how to develop that? By hearing. Right. Otherwise, Duryodhana was there, right? And Krishna was there in front of Duryodhana. Duryodhana could not see Krishna as God. You cannot see. God might be there, right there in front of you, but still you may miss out if you do not hear about God. Right? Like say, for example, some important person in the country, very, very important person, some famous person, he walks in here and we have never heard about that person. We have not seen that person any day. Comes and sit. It doesn't make any difference. But if you hear, oh, he's an important person, very powerful person, suddenly our attention goes to that person. So this hearing is very, very important. So that is why we encourage all of us how we start hearing. First, we start hearing God's name, chanting Hare Krishna mantra daily, and also read these books very carefully, very systematically, very religiously every day. If it is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever time you can devote, we should very religiously read. That is equal to hearing. Okay. So that is how Krishna explains. And then this is the 7th chapter. And then in the next chapter, the 8th chapter is also very important. Point comes, like many times people say that, yeah, this is all good. Yes, I am for it. And then, yes, I believe in this and I agree with what you're saying. But this is too early for me to do all this. I'll do all of this. I'll chant also, I'll read also, but I'll do everything in the future. No, I'm too busy. Right? When when you go to a young person, he says that I'm too young to do all this. Go to old person, he says I'm too old to do this. Right? And then you go anyone in between, says I'm too busy to do all this. When you will do this? So people always give the post-dated checks like I'll do in the future, not today. So what Krishna is actually bringing, one very important point here is Krishna actually brings a point which nobody wants to talk in this world. People are scared of talking, but Krishna is bringing that very straight away. Like say you go for a movie, you watch the movie and you like the movie, and then you come back and you talk to your friend, say I went for this movie, wonderful, and something was very revealing at the end of the movie. And your friend, he says, now I'm also planning to go, I'm just going for the next show. And this person says, you know what, at the end there was something very revealing. He say, hey, no, don't talk that, don't tell me, spoil the whole show. If you know the end, then all the secret is revealed and you cannot have fun. So sometimes people have this kind of concept that don't talk about the end. What will happen at the end of the life? When you start talking to people, they say, why are you talking all this? Let us enjoy the show. In this material world, it can work. But in the real life, we had to talk about the end of the movie. What will the end of the movie? What will happen? We are enjoying making money and so many things. At the end of the day, it's an inevitable fact that we'll all die. Nobody wants to talk that. People say, oh no, don't talk this. These are all inauspicious things. Why talking? But this is the real thing. People don't want to talk. Right? And in the English, there is an expression, they say that there is an elephant in the room. Right? Have you heard? Some of you might know that. They say that there is an elephant in the room. One time I was telling to someone, and then one person started looking at me. I said, I didn't, he kind of felt offended. That are you calling me elephant or what? Right. So the expression is elephant in the room means there is something serious, something complex, and something very important that needs to be addressed now. And everybody knows about that, but nobody wants to talk about that. Krishna talks about that. Krishna says, you are talking that, oh, I'll do that in the future and all of that, post-dated checks. But what is the guarantee of the future? Krishna says that time is ticking. This body is like a time ticking bomb. Every second we are losing the life. This is how. This is the time and tide wait for no one. So what guarantees that the future you will do something? You will be able to do something. Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva, smaran muktva kalevaram, yapriyati samadbhavam, nati jati atram shoya. So Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva smaran. At the time of death, if you remembers me, then you will come back to me. Now many times people say, okay, time of death, no, we'll remember. Why now? Point is, multiple points here. One thing is, who knows, like nobody is born with expiry date in this world, that we know that where is time is ending. It is actually ending every second. Anything can happen. That is one. And say, for example, if we by some magical means, mystical means, we figure out, okay, this is what is my, the last date. So I'll prepare maybe a week in advance. I start preparing, right? Say if that is hypothetically, if it is possible. But the point is, would you be able to remember Krishna at that time? Not possible. Not possible. Whether we will remember Krishna or what we will remember, it is determined by what we remember all our life. That will determine what we will remember at the time of death. So Krishna is actually bringing the point that it is very, very important that you start preparing for that. Start preparing your consciousness. Krishna says you have to get attached your mind to me, but it won't happen overnight. It won't happen overnight. You have to prepare and you have to put in some endeavor, some efforts. Some preparation has to go in. some sincere endeavor has to go in on that, right? So this is what Krishna is bringing here. And, in fact, there is this conversation between, in the Mahabharata that comes, it is between Yaksha and then Yudhishthir Maharaj. So Yaksha was asking a lot of questions to Yudhishthir Maharaj. One of the questions was asked is, what is the most amazing thing in this material world? And then Yudhishthir Maharaj reply, what is the most amazing thing in this world? Says, Ahani ani bhutani gachanti yamalam sthavara sheshichanti kim ashcharyadaparam. Ahani ani bhutani. All the living entities I see every day, so many living entities, gachanti yam alayam. They're going to the abode of Yamraj. They're dying. And everybody is seeing, so many people are dying every day. We read in newspapers, we hear in the news, and we hear from someone like that. That is the reality. But sthavara sheshichanti, those who are sheshichanti, those who are left over, remaining, their ichanti, what their desire is, that everything will be forever, as if eternally we are going to be here. They act like this. They plan for, like, after 30 years, some policy will mature. Policy will mature. But what is the guarantee for next 30 years or 20 years? Of course, for the sake of functioning in this world, we have to do. But at the same time, we had to be very, very well aware and conscious of the reality of life. It is like a ticking bomb. It's just going every second and every moment, like that. So that is why the scriptures actually teaches us, this world teaches us that, live before you die. This is the slogan. And live to your heart's content before you die. The slogan is, life is like an ice cream. Enjoy, relish it before it melts. So basically, there's a lot of things are there in this world to enjoy. Go and explore the whole world. Go some travel and then go try this restaurant, that thing, this thing, everything. So that is their slogan, that live before you die. But our scriptures guides a little differently. They say that die before you die. What it means, die before you die. We had to die one day. But if you don't die before you die, then you will not meaningfully will die. What is the meaning? Die means we had to kill our false ego. That we have created our identity. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the boss here, and everybody should listen to me. And they have been listening to me. I should be like a king. But either you are a king or queen or pawn. At the end of the game, everybody has to go into the box, same box. In the game of chess, game of life is also the same. No matter. So don't be in that illusion that will be like a king forever. So we had to kill those false egos, false identities, and start situating yourself into the right ego, in the right identity. For the sake of functioning in this world, you have to maintain some identities. Like, say you go to the office and you're the boss there. So you can function like a boss, or somebody is, functioning like a husband and wife and father and mother and all of that. These are all relative functional identities. But that is not our real identity. All these identities will be taken away in a moment's notice. So don't be in that illusion forever. That is why it is said that die before you die. We have to kill that false ego. And this false ego also results in enviousness. I'm the boss, everybody should listen to me. They're not listening to me. And again, you become envious, you get angry, greedy, lusty. So everything falls. So we had to clear all of those vices. Right? So Krishna is bringing that point in the 8th chapter. That is very important. Think about this very carefully. Nobody wants to talk about this. Krishna is talking and giving us the trigger. Start preparing yourself. They say the life is the preparation and the death is the examination. The sad part of the story is there is no examination date is announced. It can be a surprise test. That is the reality. We had to, all of us, nobody is exempted from this exam. But nobody knows when that exam is going to come. So better you focus on preparation. So life is the preparation. So we have to prepare our consciousness that antakalecha mameva smaran. That we prepare now, today, that if that exam comes, whether I'll be able to remember Krishna or not. Or I'll remember so many other things. My family, my money, my bank balance, my house, my loan, my relative, so many 100 things we can think, and we miss out to remember Krishna. So that is the point that Krishna is bringing here. And then that leads us to the next chapter, in the chapter 9, which is the middle of all entire Bhagavad Gita. Already we are discussing this, the middle section 6 to 12. But in that middle of that middle, the middle is the 9th chapter. And in that 9th chapter also, middle means the actual cream is coming now. Actual stuffing is coming now. And that in that chapter, 9th chapter, is the most confidential knowledge. Param Guhyam. So this is Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, Pavitramidam Uttamam. This is called, Krishna called this knowledge is Rajavidya. This is the king of knowledge, Raja, Vidyaga Raja. And then this is Rajaguhyam. This is most confidential knowledge that Krishna is going to reveal. And we are talking about the yoga of love. So how to develop love and what should be our action in love. So when you really want to get into love or you are in love, then you never forget that person. You always want to hear about that person, or you always want to talk about that person. And that is what Krishna says. Satatam kirtayanto mam yadantasya dradavrata namasyantasya mam nitya mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So that is what Krishna is saying, that if you really want to be in love with me, then what you should do? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Now this is something very interesting. This is 9.14. This was what I'm quoting. Now, what is something very interesting is, if you count the, all the verses, there are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. So what is the exact middle of 700 verses? 350, right? So this is the verse number 350. Before that, 9 till 9.30, Krishna spoke 349 verses. And after this verse, Krishna spoke another, 348, 349 verses. This is the verse which is exactly the middle of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna is giving the cream here. So cream is this. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always remember me. Always chant my name. Always remember me. Right. And then yadandasya dradavrata. And how to do dradavrata? Very determined. Not like one day we chanted, we felt like chanting. Other day we were feeling like, oh no, I want to watch mobile movie. I want to chit chat. So I missed out. And not like that. Dradavrata, like you should be fully determined that this is what is my first duty. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantasya dradavrata namasyantasya mam bhakti. And also do the namaskar. Bow down to Krishna. So this is the cream of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Right. So that Krishna is bringing here many times. And Krishna says many, many more things. But I'll just give you one or two more important points from this chapter. Many times people, when we keep talking to people, I come across some people, they say that, yeah, Prabhuji, we agree chanting and all that, but don't ask to chant on mala. Whenever feel like it, bhakti is all about, love is all about the matter of heart. I don't want to keep track, one mala 108 times in 16 rounds and reading one verse. Sometimes I feel like reading, I open Bhagavad Gita, I read for 2 hours. Someday I feel like chanting, I chant for 2 hours. And after that, I won't chant another 2 months. That is not telling. But people, many times they come up with this kind of ideas that we don't like this organized, structured religion. Don't tell us this many rounds, this many times, and all of that. Bhakti should be the matter of, spontaneous love. And the point is, we are not on that level. Yes, what they are saying is true. But are you on that level? How many times you remember Krishna in a day? If we take away that also, like commitment of 1 round or 2 rounds or 16 rounds, how many times you will really chant Krishna's name? You'll be so lost in your day-to-day life that at the end of the day, you realize, oh, today I missed. Tomorrow I'll do. So many times people say that, I don't like this organized, structured religion. But Krishna is saying, no, it is needed. It is important in the beginning. And Bhagavatam also explains, this is sadhana bhakti. It means you has to use some sadhan. Sadhan means some means, some triggers to remind you. The mala is one trigger. Okay, I have to chant 1 round. So you may miss out, but now you'll remember, okay, my commitment is 16 hours daily. So let me take mala and start chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So at least that much quota you will do every day. It is important. So this kind of misconception that people come up with, But oh, please don't ask to keep track of all of those things. I don't like it. If you don't like it, you cannot do it. Right? They say that something which cannot be measured cannot be improved. That is why there has to be some measurement and like that, right? So it is just like, somebody says, if somebody says that I want to express my heart through music, I love music, and I want to express my heart through music. But the question is, do you take the time to learn the basic notes of your music, whatever sarega ma pa is, and to play, sing, and all of that? So you may have the desire, no, I want to express my heart, but you have to go through that sadhana. If you don't spend some time, do some practice of, singing those ragas and playing some notes and like that, then how you will produce the nice music? You may not, you cannot. Let somebody say, I want to express my heart through writing. Then first spend some time, learn the basic grammar. So similarly, somebody says, I want to express my love for Krishna. Learn the basics. And that basics is sadhana, daily commitment, chanting, reading, hearing, following, some principles which is given, laid down by the acharyas. Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati yad aham bhakti upahartam ashnami prayatatmana. So Krishna is saying, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just little leaf, maybe one tulsi leaf. Pushpam, just one flower. Phalam, some one fruit, some little water. With love and devotion you offer to me. Do that. We had to do that. Right? So every day with love and devotion we chant. Maybe just 1 round, 2 rounds. You read 5-10 minutes. But we had to do that. So this is what Krishna is bringing here. So this all systematically doing the things, systematically tracking the things. It systems actually helps us to overcome our limitations, our shortcomings, or ignorance. Gradually you start to realize, oh my God, I thought I was a great devotee. Many times people say, Prabhuji, we never forget Krishna. Krishna, though, always in heart. And you tell them chant 1 round, they say, that we cannot do. Krishna is in our heart. So these people are in illusion. They have some misconceptions. If you love someone, you would love to do that. Like say, for example, a young boy and young girl, that attraction. So as soon as there is any opportunity, they want to talk about each other. If the boy meets, the friend of the girl, immediately says what she's doing, how she's doing, what she does. He want to hear more and more. That is how the expression of love that you want to hear, you want to talk about that person. So if somebody is in devotion and love, then they should be very, very enthusiastic, very eager about chanting, reading, hearing about Krishna. So that is the test. If that enthusiasm is not there, that interest is not there, that excitement is not there, that eagerness is not there, it means we are still far away from that level of love. We have to develop through the sadhana bhakti. So that is what is Krishna is, basically bringing this point. And then Krishna also, he says, you have to start giving me. Now, why we should give to Krishna? Does Krishna really needs all of those things from us? Why we should give? Why is asking? He is only saying, give me this thing. Next verse is yad karosi, yad johosi, yad asnasi, dadati yat. Whatever you eat, whatever you give charity, give it to me. Why is asking? He is not asking for his own sake. He is asking for us. We have to learn to give. We have the tendency with the habit of holding back everything. And more you hold back, more you get attached to all of those things. So your heart is filled with all those possessions and attachments only. Where is the room for Krishna? The heart is filled with so many attachments. Krishna says, okay, start learning this. Give me some little, just flower to give. If you can't give much, start doing something. Right? I always tell the story that, one time one sadhu, he goes to, back the alms in the previous days. And then one lady, he knocked the door in the village, and this lady opened the door, and the sadhu says, okay, Bhiksham Dai. Like he opened this thing, that, cloth, something, they gave some grains or something like that. So maybe this lady had some, he fought with husband or something happened in the house. She was very upset. She says, wait. She went inside, and just few seconds she came back. and then with a handful of ash, rak, from that previous time. And that ash, she threw that this is your bhiksha. Like that. She was very upset, very furious that how dare you knock my door? And like that. And the sadhu smiled. Noodly, say thank you. I'll come tomorrow. Like that. So that moved the heart of this lady. He said, what kind of person he is? I was so mad on him and I treated him like so badly. Still he's smiling and also he's saying, I'll come tomorrow. He said, hey, wait. Why you want to come again? And why you smiling? He says, today you gave me the ash, tomorrow you can give me the cash. Right? The point is you started giving. That habit of giving is important. What you gave is different. That will come later. First, you start giving. That is why Krishna is saying. He is asking very simple. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Right? One tulsi leaf. That much you can give. Please give. Important is you start giving. So Krishna is not impressed by your content. That what you are giving. Oh, you are a karodpati. You are offering me chappan bhog. Now Krishna is not impressed by that. More than content, he is impressed by your intention. And yes, Krishna, we want to serve you, we want to give you something with love and devotion. Yo mein bhakti aprayachati. So give with love and devotion, with little bhakti, and you start giving. Krishna becomes pleased. So Krishna never sees that how much you are giving. Krishna sometimes sees that how much you are holding back. And he says, I'm interested in what is behind the back. I'm not interested in what you're putting here in the undi. How much is in the pocket still? Because he doesn't need, but he wants to help us. Because more you hold back, you'll be stuck here in this world. All those attachments. So that is why Krishna is asking all of those things. Right? So this is what is Bhagavad Gita is teaching. This world teaches us what? You go and ask God. Ask what you want. But this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, it teaches ask God what he wants. So love is always all about giving, not taking. Right? Vrindavan is like that. Yashoda Mai want to feed Krishna. He doesn't want anything from Krishna. So the real love, the real bhakti is all about giving. So we had to start changing our questions. Instead of what I want, my desires, we should ask the question when we come in front of Krishna. Krishna, what do you want? Right? Sometimes people are scared. What if Krishna wants too much from me? Yes, give me 1 month's salary. And then it will be too much. So we should always remember that Krishna is very loving and kind father. He is very well-wishing father. He always wants to help us to come closer to him. That is what he wants. And whatever is needed to get closer to him, he will ask. And that ask has to happen through the devotees and, through the acharyas like that. So this is what is the yoga of love. Love is all about giving. So somebody was asking, what is the difference between like and love? Many times we say, oh, I like it, and I love it. There's a difference. We may not very consciously use those words sometimes. We interchangeably use the word. So what will you give to Krishna? Like or love? Like means thumb. Like. And love means give heart. So what do you want to give? Thumb or heart? Bhagavad Gita teaching us, give the heart. But how do we understand what is liking and what is loving? Right? Liking means I like Krishna and Krishna I know is very powerful, so he can give me whatever I want. So like the person, still you may ask my desires. But love means your desires, what you want. Because I love. Like the parents love the child. And they say, okay, what do you want on your birthday? Like only on birthdays, other day they will only keep asking a lot of things. So that is a different story. But it is between my desire and your desire. What is Krishna's desire? Right? Liking is all about receiving. You receive from the person and you like that person. So much I'm receiving from this person. And then loving is all about giving. You always want to give more and more. Liking is all about expectations. And then love is all about appreciation. There's no expectations. You just love that person for whatever that person is. You just love and appreciate. Right? And then liking is all about enjoying. Oh, I enjoy your company. I like to talk to you. I enjoy being in your association. But love is always about serving. I want to serve you. So this is what the Krishna is bringing, and that is the essence. The last verse of the chapter, the middle section, Krishna says, Man mana bhav mad bhakto, Madhyaji mam namaskaru mam evashyasi yuktevam atmanam matparayana. So always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This should be the kanti, like we should tie that in our neck. This verse. Manmana, always think of me. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So we should always think that how can I always remember Krishna? What will make me to remember Krishna in all situations while I'm functioning in this world? I'm doing my job, I'm taking care of my family. Still, I should not forget Krishna. How to reach that point? That is what is the love is all about. So this is the 9th chapter. I'll just quickly summarize, maybe 2-3 more points. So the 10th chapter. 10th chapter is, so Krishna explains all this, man mana bhavat bhakto, always remember me. Now question is, how to remember always? Is it possible to remember? It is not happening. It is possible, but it is not happening. So Krishna actually gives some, some triggers that will help you to remember me always. So what Krishna is doing here is that, many times people ask that, we are praying so much to Krishna and then we are chanting, we are reading and all that. But we don't see God anywhere in our life. I have never seen God. Many times people ask this question, Prabhuji, have you seen God? How many years you have been practicing Krishna consciousness? How many years you have been chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita? Have you seen God? How do you answer this? Different ways of answering it. I ask them the question. If I say, if I have seen God, yes, I have seen God, would you believe me? Say he's making up. Right? Like how you can cross-verify that I have really seen God or not? I can say whatever I want to say. Do you have any test for me that will confirm that yes, you have seen God? So that question is an invalid question, right? And if I say no, I have not seen God, then you'll say, then why you're talking all the big things? So point is, question is, we are not seeing God. If people say that, how we can see God? Is it possible to see God? So Krishna in this chapter is bringing this important concept that yes, we can see God in this world. Not like after death we have to go to other world. Some spiritual world is there, and there one day we'll say, "Oh Krishna, yeah, I heard a lot about you. Today finally I've seen you." That also will happen, but you need to wait. So how to understand this is, see, people see the things differently in this world, and then people see the things not as the things are, but people see the things as they are. I'll explain this. There one interviewer was there, 2 young boys. He was interviewing them. So he asked the first boy that how you became such a addicted drunkard in such a young age. And this boy replied, I've seen my father from my childhood. His father was, a drunkard. So I've seen him from my, very early age. So I also became the drunkard. He asked another boy, his brother, real brother, says, how you become such a nice gentleman, such a responsible person? And he says, I've seen my father drinking all his life. You understand the point here? You see the things as you are, not as the things they are. You can see that I have to become a drunkard by seeing a drunkard, or you can also see I should not become like him anytime in my life. Should become more responsible person. Right? So why we don't see Krishna? It's not because Krishna is not there, but you see Krishna only as you are. Meaning, what is our level of consciousness? What is your consciousness? There might be right in front of us, Krishna might be there, like Duryodhana. Again, the same example. He could not see Krishna as the Supreme Lord. He will see only as he is. What is his consciousness? So why we don't see Krishna? Because we don't know how to see Krishna. So when people say that we can't see God anywhere, but the devotees, they say we see God everywhere. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, this Hiranyakashipu, the great demon, he asked Prahlad Maharaj, because he was saying, oh, Narayan, Narayan, my God. He said, where is your God? He asked that like out of furious, in the anger, he asked, where is your God? Where is your Vishnu? And Prahlad Maharaj, very innocently, with that confidence and that faith, he replied, he said, where he is not. This is the difference. The demon is asking, where is your God? Devotee is saying where he is not. He is everywhere. So your eyes are tainted as the scriptures guides. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. When your eyes are tainted with the love of devotion, prem anjana, when you develop the love for Krishna, then you see God everywhere. This is the nature of love. Right? We see in the movies also, right? The hero or heroine, some young boy, he's lost, thinking of heroine and hero. People are, just shaking him up. He's in his own world. This is all mundane love. See, that is actually possible. Sometimes, young boys and girls, they get into this kind of relations. They're lost. People around them, they ask, what happened? No, you look different nowadays. You don't even focus on, you don't like to talk to us, you don't even eat properly, but he's lost. So love means you can be always thinking about that person. Possible. We have to develop those eyes. Premanjana, Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. That, Chaitanya Charitamrita also explains, Sthavara Jangam dekhe na dekhe Tara Murti. Sarvatra Nij Deva Spurti. So says, a devotee who has developed the eyes of love for Krishna, then whatever he sees is Sthavara Jangam, the animate or inanimate objects, he see everywhere Krishna's spark. They can see. At one time, Prabhupada, were traveling with one of his disciples, who was a young, young brahmachari. So there was in that airplane, there was a very beautiful air hostess was there. And this young boy, brahmachari, who joined the temple, he naturally got fascinated. He was looking at this young air hostess. And then, for a few seconds, he looked at beautiful girl. And then suddenly he realized, oh, I'm sitting with next to Prabhupada. And then he became a little conscious. And by the time he looked at Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada was looking at him. And he realized, my God, I'm just caught red-handed. It is so embarrassing. Like in front of your spiritual master, your guru, you're looking at some beautiful girl. And then he don't know, like he became, his whole face became red and he started feeling so embarrassing, like Prabhupada caught me looking at this beautiful girl. How to respond to that situation? And before he could think, Prabhupada says, so beautiful, isn't she? And then it made him like even more, embarrassing. How to respond now? Shall I say that, yeah, she is beautiful? And at the same time, I cannot say no also, because she is beautiful. I don't want to disagree also, and I cannot accept also, yes, she is beautiful. And then Prabhupada, in the next moment, he says that if the creation is so beautiful, think of how beautiful the creator would be. Krishna has created all these beautiful objects. So this is the difference between how a devotee sees. He can always see the spark of Krishna in everything. And that is what Krishna says in the 10th chapter, Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitam Evava Tat Tat Evavagachatvam Mam Teju Amsha Sambhava. Krishna says, Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam. Anything you see in this material world, which is, very beautiful and very attractive and very powerful, it is my splendor, spark of my splendor. Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitam Eva Tattadeva Gachatvam Mam Tejo Amsha Sambhavam. It is my Amsha. So anything beautiful you see, any powerful man you see in this world, or any attractive person you see in this world, you can remember Krishna. If we trained yourself like this, that is what happens when you see something very fascinating in this world, we tend to forget Krishna. So, oh, look at this. Where is Krishna? Krishna is missing. You're looking at that person only. Right? So it is all about training our consciousness, training those eyes. So Krishna guides in Bhagavad Gita and how we can see Krishna in everything in day-to-day life. So that is why it is very important that we read Bhagavad Gita, we get familiar with all these concepts, and we can develop that consciousness gradually. Krishna says, Raso ham apsu kanteya prabhashmi sasishureyo pranava sarvedeshu shabdakhe parusham nashu. So say, Raso ham apsu kanteya. I'm the taste in the water. Now all of us will drink water every day. It's not like once in a year only, or once in a month, or once in a week. Every day, so many times. Krishna is saying, I am the taste in the water. When you drink water every time, then remember this verse. Krishna is saying, I am the taste in the water. Rasoham apsukondeya. Prabha ashmi sasi shureyo. Say, no, today I'm doing Nirjala fasting. I'm not drinking water. So that is why I'm not able to remember Krishna. Krishna is saying Prabha. Prabha means I'm the rays, sunshine and the moonshine. I'm that. So you see the sun, you see the moon, you can immediately remember Krishna. Say, no, I was sitting all day inside the room. I didn't go out only. So sun also I did not see, moon also I did not see, not drink the water. That is why I'm not able to remember. Pranava sarva vedeshu. Krishna is saying, I am the sound, that Om. So say, I don't chant Om anyway. So no hope for me to remember Krishna. Then Krishna is further saying that Shabda K, that I am the sound in ether. No, sound you hear all the time. Any sound. Krishna is saying every sound is me only. And then Parusham Nashu, and the ability in man. So whenever you see any person who has some ability, can be in your office, it can be in society. So very smart person, very intelligent person, very skillful person. Look at the child and look at this woman. She cooks so nicely. She decorates so nicely. Whatever, she sings so nicely or he sings so nicely. Whenever you get fascinated, then Krishna is saying, Mam Tejo Amshu Sambhavam. This is my Amsha. This is coming from me. So we can train ourselves like that. Right. So this is how we can understand. A lot of things can be discussed about that, but in the interest of time, I'm just keeping it a little short. So yes, we can see God everywhere. We have to train our eyes, and gradually we should be very, very conscious to remember Krishna, to see Krishna. Krishna is there very much in this world. In every walk of your life, you are eating. When you eat the food, from where this food grain is coming, Krishna is explaining. Right? It is coming from the rains, and from where the rains are coming, Krishna is actually sending forth all that. When you eat the food get digested. How it get digested? Are you doing something about that? There is a whole machinery is there working. It is digesting your food. Krishna is saying, I am the digestive force in everyone. So like that, if we train ourselves, then you can see Krishna everywhere in every walk of your life. Like that we can remember. Otherwise, it is very easy to miss out Krishna. Krishna might be the right next to us. We might. There is actually this story of, one, it is important story that you will see the connection here and how we may miss out to see Krishna in our life. Say, oh, we never saw Krishna. Where is God? So this person, his name is Joshua Bell. He's an American, famous violin player, violinist. Very, very famous. When he put up a show, and there is a lot of demand, and he charged like hundreds of dollars and thousands of people comes to watch his show. So one time, this person, he did a show, and after a few days, he did an experiment, some social experiment he wanted to do. So he went in like a simple, normal person, simple attire and like that, with his violin. He goes to one of the train station in a busy city in New York. This person was born in Indiana. So he was, I think, in New York somewhere. So he went and then sat there with his violin and he started playing the same Joshua Bell, where people wait for his shows and spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of people, makes millions of dollars just by one show. Person was sitting and playing the guitar. And the thousands of people are just walking by, going back and forth, back and forth. How the train station, especially in the New York City, a lot of crowd, and nobody paid attention to him. Hardly just 2-3 people, they paid attention, and then they, gave some few bucks, like maybe 10-20 bucks. That is what he collected. He wanted to do the social experiment. So the point is, sometimes we are so bombarded by so much of noise around us that we miss out to hear Krishna's voice amidst of that noise. So that is what happens most of the time in our life. We are bombarded with so many things in our life, we hardly have the time to sit with yourself and see, meditate and think that what Krishna is trying to say. Some situation is happening. Krishna is trying to teach me something. Krishna is trying to convey some message. We never spend the time and we may miss out. That is why people don't, see Krishna. They don't see God. Right? So this is also, we are talking here, the yoga of love. So in the love, you see the object of love everywhere. That is how you train your consciousness, your eyes. Okay, I think we are already exceeding the time limit, but also I want to complete this. Maybe just in a very short, I'll complete. So this was chapter 10. Chapter 11, Krishna gave a lot of theory, see like this, see like that. But You like audio or visuals? Which is more effective? For most of the people, visuals are more effective. There might be some people, few people, very rare souls. So I like audio. Mostly the visuals. So Krishna spoke all this theory. Krishna spoke in the 10th chapter some around like 82 or 84 different opulences, different things in the nature. He says, I am the Himalayas in the mountain. I'm the, uh, the elephant as Aravat, and like that, many things he said. So whenever you see something, you can remember Krishna. But then Arjuna says, can you show me the visuals after the audio? Visuals will be more helpful. So in the 11th chapter, Krishna showed the visual, the universal form, where he showed entire creation in his one form. So Arjuna was flabbergasted by looking at that, that form of Krishna. He could see practically everything in that form, the entire creation, all the universe is there. And then Arjuna was like carefully looking. And he saw there is a battlefield also in that form, Krishna's form, universal form. There is a battlefield. Now all the soldiers who are assembled in the battlefield, they are all there. And Arjuna is also there. Krishna is also there. In that everything he saw the visual, what they're talking. Right? And then he saw that in that universal form, and all the soldiers in the opposite party, they're all entering into the mouth of that Vishwarupa, and they are crushed and turned into the powder. So basically, what happens many times, when we want to do something, we kind of lose the confidence. Oh, how would I do that? And you are a little skeptical about certain things, not having much confidence to do something. Krishna, through this universal form, is showing what he's showing. Says, Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labasva jitva shatrum bhungsha Rajyam samardham maya etava nihitam purvameva nimitt matram bhava savyasachi. So Krishna is giving a very important message that Arjuna, you have to just become the nimitta matra. Just become a medium, just an instrument. Everything else will be taken care by me. So when you start losing that confidence, how would I do that? So this is the problem for most of us. Even in the spiritual life also. So it looks like, all these things are very far off. Going back to God, going back to Krishna, and, developing this love for Krishna. Oh my God, I have nothing in my life. Looks like, very Herculean task. So what Krishna is saying is, you just become the Nimitta Matram, Bhava Savyasachit. Everything will be taken care by me. Arjuna, see that I'm showing this universal form. You have to just be an instrument, shoot the arrows. And then everything will be taken care by me. And he showed that all these armies in the opposite camp, they're entering into Krishna's mouth. Don't worry, you already won the match, won the battle, but you have to play the role. So similarly, when you surrender to Krishna, you are already a winner. You're already successful. But we have to function in this world. So for the sake of functioning, operating in this world, we have to do our duties. So that is what Krishna is actually teaching here through this universal form. So there are two kind of mentality. One thing is I am the controller. And another consciousness can be, mentality can be, Krishna is the controller. And the consequences will be completely opposite. If you think I'm the controller, so in the success, you will feel proud. I'm the controller. I worked hard and I got this and all that. And when you think that Krishna is the controller, then you will be very grateful. You will be very humble. You will go and thank Krishna. Krishna, I'm so grateful that you have given me this wonderful opportunity. So, and the failure, what happens if you think I'm the controller? I worked hard and I did so much, but still I failed. You get depressed. In this modern age, this is the common problem. People get depressed. But a devotee who has Krishna consciousness, then he doesn't get depressed even in the failure also. He accepts. And maybe Krishna has a better plan for me. No problem. Let me just try. I did my best. And let me just learn. If I did some mistake, I can improve. But let me accept happily. So you see that how the difference is. I am the controller versus Krishna is the controller. So through universal form, Krishna is actually conveying that we are not the controllers. We are just nimitta matram. So just do your duty. Do your best and leave the rest. No. And I'll just close with the last. So the 12th chapter, which is actually entitled as Bhakti Yoga, the devotional service. So in the 12th chapter, Krishna answers this one reservation that many times, especially in a very neophyte stage, initial stage, many people have this reservation that if we get too much into this Krishna consciousness, too much chanting, reading, and attending this course, coming temple, start engaging in the service, then what will happen to my material life? I will lose all my friends. I'll not be accepted by my social circle. They'll say, oh, you become too much of Hare Krishna. So I'm scared. So I'm just very consciously keeping the distance, not getting too much into this. Is a misconception. Krishna resolved this misconception here. That actually, see, they say that if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. You can earn the wealth again. If health is lost, something is lost. Then they say, if character is lost, everything is lost. Now, life is meaningless without character. So Krishna, in this chapter, he spoke 8 verses in series, 12, 13 to 20, where he's talking about the different traits of a good character, wonderful character. And Krishna is teaching through this Krishna consciousness, we can, that fear is there that we lose our friends and social circle. Krishna is saying through this Krishna consciousness, you can upgrade your character. You can become very refined person. And when you are upgraded in your character through all these verses, then you will attract even more and more people. They want to become your friend because you become such a wonderful personality. And naturally, people get attracted. They want to be with you. So actually, you're not losing your friends. Maybe you might be losing some people, and those are spoiled. They want to drink and all those kind of things. But you will attract better people. So we are not losing anyone. Krishna is teaching in the 12th chapter how to develop a good character. Right? So that is how we can understand all that. Krishna says, Advaishta sarvbhutanam matra karuna evacha nirmama nirahankara sama dukkha sukha kshami. Advaishta, you become free from the enviousness if you practice Krishna consciousness. People are envious of each other. Right? They don't want to talk. But you become free from envy somehow. It's not an easy thing. Everybody is envious in this world. You have to just come across the right person. You start feeling envious. Everybody is envious, unfortunately. Advaishta sarvbhutana matra karuna evacha. You become very friendly to everyone. So people have a to-do list in this world. I want to do this, I want to do that. But Krishna is teaching along with the to-do list, you should have another list, which is to-be list. Along with to-do, I want to be this. What I want to become? I want to be Advaishta, free from enviousness. Matra, friendly to everyone. I want to become that. Right? So many to-do things we do that. The people say, okay, I want to do exercise every day. 15 minutes exercise, to do. But also, can you exercise little patience, little tolerance? That is to-be list. I should be patient. Something's going on. Let me just cool down, relax. That is to-be list, not easy. I want to answer my emails. Sometimes, people answer, type everything. And after, pressing enter, then they realize, oh my God, I should not type all this. Bombarded. You just poured out all your emotion, anger, frustration. Right? So people answer the emails. But can you be mindful to others? Like when I'm talking to someone, responding to someone, how should I be? Like that. So many things. And then I want to meet many friends. This is my to list. But also to-be list, can I be friendly to everyone around? Their to-be list. So Krishna is talking all those concepts. So somebody asked a great philosopher that what is the message of your life? He said, my life is my message. So we should come to that level. Then when people look at us, they should say that I want to be like this person. To-be list. Or we should have at least someone in our life where we feel inspired that I want to be like that person, inspired by those great personalities. So we have a lot of great spiritual personalities around us. So we associate with them, we take the inspiration from them, like Srila Prabhupada. It's such an advanced age, right? 69-year-old, he came to this country, America, with 40 rupees in his hand, all alone, never been there in this country, and no connections, no support. And then he came and he worked hard because he had the confidence in Krishna. Nimitt matram bhavasavya sachi. And I had to just become the nimitt. Everything else will be taken care by Krishna. So that much of confidence, that much of courage, I want to be like him. And that is to be list. And Prabhupada worked hard day in, day out. 2 hours only slept for that many years. Practically 22 hours he was working. What he was working? To serve Krishna, to please Krishna as a devotee of Krishna. Sometimes people ask us, like devotees in the temple ask, chant 1 round of Hare Krishna mantra. How long? 8 minutes. Oh, there's too much. Sometimes people, and when they chant also, they keep looking at the watch. It start looking like, that 8 months has become like many, many years. This is what is the situation. So we can always take the inspiration. This is what is my to-be list. And okay, here the devotee Prabhupada, 22 hours every day, working hard in such an advanced age, 70, 75-year-old, all alone, with no resources, with no support. I want to be like him. That kind of a devotee I want to become. So at least we can have the good aspiration like that. And then take the inspiration and start working. Okay, so let me just pause here quickly and then see if anybody has any quick question. I know that we already kind of exceeding the time limit, but maybe just 1 minute while we're distributing the beats. Anybody has any quick question here in person or those who are joining us online? If you have some questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes. Yes. So question is, we discussed about the false identity, that we die before we die, means killing our false identifications, false ego. But what is a true ego? That is a question, right? So ego is not bad. That is why I use, like Prabhupada used this word. He doesn't say that give up your ego. He says give up your false ego. Ego means basically identity, but we have created some false identities. So false identity, I'm this, I'm that of this world. The real identity is Jivera Swarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. This is the identity revealed in the scriptures. Mama Ivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So Krishna is saying we all are part and parcel of Krishna. That is what is our real identity. We are Amsha of Krishna, part of Krishna, and as being the part of Krishna, our constitutional duty is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So whatever we do in this world, whatever function you do, taking care of family, job, and so many other things, we have to ask the question, my work, my responsibilities, my duties, it will please Krishna? How should I do all these duties in a way that Krishna is also pleased by all those things? And that is what is our true identity, as being the part and parcel of Krishna, to serve Krishna and please Krishna. Yes. There also you can see Krishna. Okay, I don't know. The mic is gone. So this is also we can see Krishna. That Krishna is giving indication you have to close now. Everywhere you can see Krishna. Am I audible to the backside, like those who are sitting? Speak a little loud. So the question is, if we see something good and something beautiful happens in our life, then it's easy to see Krishna. But something which is very ugly or ghastly happens, somebody hurts us, how to see Krishna? It is actually more easy to see Krishna there if you learn this philosophy. Whenever something happens which is unpleasant and undesirable and all that, then you see that Krishna want to teach me something here. Maybe I need to learn the lesson. And then you start contemplating why it happened, why this person did like that, was it my mistake, or maybe he's not the right person to be too much associated with this person, spend too much time, hang around. A lot of things can be learned there. So maybe Krishna trying to put me into this situation so that I can learn some better lessons. This is how it is always. And that is the fact. It is not like artificially you're pumping yourself. But that is the reality of life. And whenever any challenging situation we face, means Krishna is trying to put you in a situation where you come out more maturely. Right? So they say, that you cannot grow as much as in the success as you can grow in your failures. Success makes a person blind, but the failures, most of the time, it makes a person more contemplative, meditative. You are like shaken. Why it happened? I never expected. You're forced to think. So we can always learn something like that. Or maybe another way of looking at it is, I can think of that somebody did something bad and Krishna is trying to teach us that be tolerant. No problem, it happens. Why you're getting so mad? Why you're getting so freaked out? Just be a little tolerant. It's okay. That is not, life is not all about this episode. Just one small phase of your life, small chapter of your life. It will also, this too shall pass. So have some patience, have some tolerance, be kind, be forgiving. So many wonderful things we can practice. See, if everything goes good in our life, then everything what we are talking here, it remains theory only. We think Krishna is saying, be tolerant, be kind, be compassionate, be forgiving. How do you practice all that? Everybody is so nice around you. You think like I'm the most, magnanimous person in this world. Forgiven everyone. I am so tolerant because nobody is coming and touching. Just a little touch and you see that how much tolerance we have, how much that nature of forgiveness we have. So Krishna are trying to teach us to practice all those values like that. Okay, hope that answers your question.
I can, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can definitely agree with that part, Prabhu. Only in pain and hurt we will be more inclined to learn what is true. We'll more inclined to ask many questions about ourselves and about the truth. So it will bring us closer to Krishna when we are really hurt or when we are really facing a failure.
Yeah, it will bring to close to Krishna only when we are in the association of devotees. Otherwise, it might take us away from Krishna. Somebody say, "Oh, I was going to temple, I was praying to Krishna, and still that happened. I don't believe in Krishna." That can also happen with some people. But if you're surrounded by the right people, the right guidance, the devotees, they will give you the perspective. Yeah, don't worry, no problem. Krishna is trying to teach you something. Krishna is helping you something, and like that. Then only you can come. So this devotee association is a very, very essential, element in all of this. Yeah.
Thank you. My question was like when we are talking about triggers to help us remember Krishna always, where in which chapter is this given in detail, Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah. So you can read the 7th chapter starting from 7.8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are many, many verses. Krishna is talking about all this. Rasoham Apsukonte and all of that. And then if you read the 10th chapter, which is the opulence of the Lord, Vibhuti Yoga, there the entire chapter is about that only. There are some, I think, 42 verses. Most of the verses, the Krishna is talking about I'm this, I'm that. So when you see the creation, you can remember Krishna. So you can read that.
Thank you, Prabhu. So one of the triggers that we learned in this class was like we have to start in order to see is first step is to hear about Krishna from the right source, from the Vedic scriptures. And second thing is like don't look for more of the material world, the external thing, but also look for the whenever you see anything beautiful, you should always remember that some person has created it. So you should remember and think about the creator.
Yeah, not that some person, very specifically, Krishna has created this. That some person will be like people say, oh, I made you.
Yes, yes.
It is so sweet.
Sorry, Prabhu. In that aspect, only coming. Thanks for that point. In that aspect, I wanted to ask was like, when we see Krishna in everyone, in everything, let's say, like when that is one step we have grown to. But in that step, how do we prevent ourselves from failing to know the absolute truth? Like who created, meaning Krishna is Krishna only the creation? How do we escape? How do we not fail to realize this truth?
Yeah, so that was our beginning of a discussion. That Tat Shrunu, Krishna says that everything will fall in place from the right hearing. So there has to be enough hearing from the right source, from the bona fide teachers, bona fide scriptures, and that hearing, and also being surrounded by those devotees, those who have that kind of faith, because the faith is always, the devotion is always contagious. Contagious means it spreads. When you're surrounded by the devotees who have a lot of faith, right? Like especially when you go to any Hare Krishna temple, you will see the devotees, they talk about, oh, Krishna did like that and Krishna did like that, as if Krishna is their friend walking around with them. That is how they're trained. That kind of training is given. They talk as if Krishna is person holding their hand and walking. And then sometimes new people, they wonder like, where is Krishna? Like these people keep talking a lot about Krishna did like that, Krishna did like that. So when you are surrounded by those people, you learn how to. This is called the devotee parlance. Parlance means the language. Different association, they have a different language. Sometimes people go in some friends circle. What kind of talk they do? Sometimes some very, what do you say, very casual language and all that. But the devotees' language is a little different. For everything, they want to bring Krishna, 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 Krishna. So the training happens. When reading you do, the training happens. And when you see the devotees in their life, they're not only just talking, but actually they're living the life of Krishna consciousness. And you see, oh yeah, what they're talking is not just simply talking, but actually they live their life. They do something. So all of those things gradually, train us to develop that kind of consciousness. And yeah. So we'll talk more about all of those things. And in the next class, so far we discussed in the 2 sessions, in the previous session, Karma Yoga, the yoga of living. Today we discussed the Bhakti Yoga, yoga of love. And in the last section, which we will be talking in the next Saturday session, that is the yoga of let go. That is also important. So that we'll talk 13 to 18 chapter.